let's go ahead and settle into your comfortable seated position. So if you like to sit on, if you like to prop up on a blanket, you can do that. If you like to sit with your legs extended out in front of you, you can do that. If you like your legs crossed, you can do that. You can have your eyes open or closed. And let's start to come into the practice space through the breath. So we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Full breath back out. Fill the lungs as you breathe in. Empty as much as possible as you breathe out. Two more times here. One more breath here. We'll start to work with the breath in a different way. Deep breath in for a count of 4, 3, 2. Last one. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. One more in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Now in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Square breath. In. Hold. 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 Out. 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 Hold. 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 Again. In. Hold. 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 Out. 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 Hold. 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 One more. In. Hold. 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 Out. 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 Hold. 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 And forget the breath. Return to natural breath. Notice the feeling in the lungs, the feeling around the heart, the chest. How do you feel physically? What is your energy doing? Let's bring the hands together at heart center, palms touching, and then allow those 3 center fingers to separate. The little finger and the thumb remaining near each other, touching at some point, whether it's the very tip or the very bottom or somewhere along the way. Holding this lotus shape at heart center. Think of the beautiful qualities of the heart forming this flower. At the very base, the beautiful piece at the center of a flower is the gem, the jewel of unconditional love. And surrounding it, we have compassion, kindness, forgiveness, gratitude, generosity, joy, hope, courage, trust. So maybe you think of those qualities as petals that surround that flower, that center. What quality would you like to focus on tonight? Which heart quality? This is your practice. Choose the one that resonates with you. Again, we have compassion, kindness, forgiveness, gratitude, generosity, joy, hope, trust, courage, and of course, unconditional love. The symbol of the lotus represents our journey through life. The lotus is the flower that grows up next to a lily pad. So it comes up through all of that swampy, stinky, sticky, murky, mucky water. And as it opens, it reveals a flower that is untouched by those surroundings, reminding us that it doesn't matter what we came up through. That beauty lives within, untouched by the surroundings, when we are ready to allow it to shine forward. So let's get some movement there. Let your right hand curl into a little fist, wrap the left fingers around. Bring the hands down, let the fingertips point toward the ground, backs of the hands together like the roots going down into the dirt below the water, and then we'll open back up, wrapping that left hand around the right. And as it comes to heart center or maybe even the throat, you let those fingers open up. And then we'll switch. Left hand curls, wrapping around, fingers come down, open the hand. And then we'll curl closed and open up into that lotus. Switching back to the right. Let's do 3 more sets here. Last 2 while I lock up the door. Did you? Awesome, thank you. Last one here. Bring yourself back into your lotus mudra. Allow yourself to focus on the intention, the quality that you chose to settle on. Sorry, I have someone who's supposed to be online with us, and she is having trouble getting in. That's the only reason I'm doing this while we're in the middle of this. As you repeat the intention to yourself, inhale, chin toward the sky, exhale, chin floats toward the chest. Repeating your intention to yourself. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale. Three more times here. Last two. Last one here. And from here, let's bring the chin back parallel to the ground, elbows open out to the sides, opening the door to draw in that beautiful energy. Exhale, pull the forearms toward each other, closing off obstacles to that intention. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw the forearms toward each other. Last three. Last two. Last one right here. And we'll let the arms float down alongside the body. Let's get some movement into the neck. Right ear floats toward the right shoulder. Let your chin sweep across the chest. Left ear toward left shoulder, either the chin or the top of your head to the sky. Slow, gentle rotations. Two more breaths here. Last full breath. And then we'll pause in stillness and start to get some movement through the shoulders. Roll the shoulders up toward the ears, let them float back and down. 3 more times. Last 2. Last one right here. And then we'll pause in stillness. Bring your right arm up toward the sky. Let it float back and down. And then the left. And then the right. And the left. And one more time on each side. Hand down, right arm up and over. So anytime we're working in the arms, we are working with the heart space. One more breath here. Go ahead and come up. Back over toward the right. Right hand down, left arm across. Come on up through center, left hand down, right arm comes across. Go ahead and come back up to your neutral seated position. Let's start to get some movement through the hips. Let yourself swirl through the hips. Drawing circles on the ceiling with the tops of the head, top of your head. And we'll pause in stillness the next time you come forward in reverse directions. 2 more rounds of breath here. Pausing in stillness the next time you're at the center. Let's extend that right leg out and bring the arms alongside the body. Let the fingertips come up toward the shoulders, elbows up toward the sky. Exhale, arms alongside the body, hinge at the hips, float over that extended leg. And then we'll sit back up, fingertips to shoulders, elbows to sky. Let the elbows come alongside the body and then fold. 3 more. Inhale, lift and lift. Exhale, lower and lower. Last 2. And up, down, and down. Last one here. Lift and lift. Elbows down and fold. Let's sit up nice and tall. Turn toward that extended right leg into a little seated twist. Two more breaths. Last full breath. And then as you inhale, let's gently unwind, switching sides. Let the left leg come out. Before we bring that right leg in, let's curl and expand the toes a few times. Get a little movement through those ankles. 3 more breaths. Last full breath. And we'll pause in stillness. Bring the right foot in toward the left now. Same thing we just did. Fingertips come to the shoulders. Elbows lift toward the sky. Exhale, arms to elbows alongside the body and then float into that fold. Let's try that 3 more times. Inhale, up and up. Exhale, down and down. Last 2. Last one here. Let's lift 1 more time. And then the next time you exhale, find that spot where you can settle in and hold. It doesn't matter if the hand is at the thigh, at the knee, at the shin, at the ankle, at the toes. Just allow yourself to sit. Give yourself an opportunity to release through the back of the leg. Let that beautiful heart shine forward. 3 more breaths. With your next inhalation, slowly come up, sitting up nice and tall. Extend the legs out in front. Give yourself a little shake. 1 more breath here. And we're going to find our way onto our stomachs. So you can move if you have a blanket on your mat, you can use it underneath your hips or you can move it out of the way. We're going to work to start with a Sphinx pose. So, and I know not everyone's going to be able to see, we're coming onto our abdomens, propping up. So let the forearms rest at the mat. Palms are down. And elbows, in the traditional or more classic variation of the pose, the elbows are kind of right underneath the shoulders. So you're propping yourself up, kind of lifting up into that Sphinx. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, if this is too much of a back bend, you want to bring the hands out in front. If we bring the elbows back behind us and lower, that creates compression through the elbows. So let the arms come out in front if you need or want to be a little bit lower. Otherwise, let yourself be in this propped space, that heart energy shining forward. Feel your breath. Feel yourself expand into the mat as you breathe in That lift of the inhale, feel yourself lower, softening with the exhale. Let's grab 3 more breaths. Last 2. See if you can soften. We're propping, but we're not pushing up necessarily. And then from here, we'll get some stretch through the upper back. So let that right shoulder start to draw in, forward and in toward the center, gazing over the left. Inhale as you come across. Left shoulder draws slightly forward, looking over the left shoulder. Or right shoulder, the other shoulder. Come back through center and continue. So let your breath pace this portion of the practice. The inhale may be bringing you to center. The exhale shifting you into that little side bend. And it might be simply moving the head side to side. If the stretch through the back doesn't work for you, you absolutely do not have to do that. If moving the shoulders forward and in works, but turning the head to the side doesn't, then don't do that. Just connecting to heart energy. And then next time you find your way to center, let's pause in stillness. Bring the hands down to stack. Chin, side of the head or forehead resting on stacked hands. Let's bring the feet up toward the sky and just let your feet sway gently from side to release tension that might be present from that little back bend. I'm going to take about 3 more breaths. Last full breath. Then we'll pause in stillness, coming back into this flat space, this crocodile pose. We're going to work with movement through the legs a little bit. So we're still engaging through the body. We're just moving a little bit into the lower spaces. We don't want to stay completely focused in one spot. So press the top of your left foot into the mat just a little bit. You don't need to lift the knee up away from the mat. It's just going to stabilize the low back. And we'll let the right leg start to lift up nice and straight. So as if it were a board being lifted up. And it might lift up 1/4 of an inch. It might come all the way up. Higher than the foot, higher than the hip, you decide. As you exhale, let that foot float down. And then we'll press that foot into the mat and let the other leg come up. And then lower back down. And then we'll try that 2 more times on each side. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. 1 more time here on each side. And again, the movement might be barely noticeable. It might be very large, you decide. So from here, once again, feet come to the sky. We'll sway the legs from side to side to start releasing tension through the low back. If that doesn't work for you, you can tuck the toes, lift the knees up away from the ground, and let the heels sway side to side. And that still gives us some of that release through the low back. That's really all we're looking for here, is letting go of any constriction or tension that might be present in your back after doing that. All right. So from here, let the tops of the feet stay at the ground, and we're bringing the arms back alongside the body. Doesn't matter if you have the palms down or the palms up, completely yogi's choice. The first thing we'll do is take the shoulder blades and pull them toward each other like you were ever so slightly pinching the spine in between them. So kind of identify that spot right in between the shoulder blades and then let yourself soften. That spot, imagine that you have a string attached right there, and you're being lifted from that spot, letting the chest and the upper back lift up and then lowering back down. So we're working with a locust pose. We're just doing one half at a time. The hands stay down, the arms and hands are not involved in this movement. So be mindful of that, especially if palms are down. Sometimes there's a tendency to try and press up into a bigger pose than what the body is ready for, and that can create some discomfort or even injury in the body. We're using the muscles in the body to lift. Again, your lift might be a barely noticeable fraction of an inch, or you might roll up so that you're kind of balancing on the belly button. One more time here, or anywhere in between, of course. We always have more than one option. And or not applies here. And then we'll release back down, let your arms stack. Rock the head side to side on stacked arms. If that's available to you. If that doesn't work in your body, if having your forehead resting on stacked arms is uncomfortable for you, then you can allow your arms to kind of be alongside the body and rock yourself side to side, kind of more Sphinx-like. We're looking to release tension through the middle and the upper back, any constriction that might be hanging out there. So moving through the neck can do that, as can other movements if that doesn't work. All right, we're going to weave those together now. If it works in your body, if it's available to you, arms come back alongside the body. Let's start to peel the feet up. Both feet together. Hold. Hold. And then let the feet come back down. Rock the hips side to side. Bring the upper body up, lifting from that spot between the shoulder blades. And once you're at the point that feels right for you, maybe those feet start to come up now into your full locust pose. Full locust pose, we also have the arms elevated away from the mat. One more breath here. Exhale, lower down. Maybe you stack the hands or forearms, maybe not. We'll take a breath, about a 4 breath break, and then we'll try it again. Last full breath. Inhale, lifting the upper body. Let the feet come up. Maybe they both lift, maybe just one. So eventually we're kind of balancing almost on the hip points. That might not be where you are today. Again, don't create strain. Be aware of where the body's edges are, what your body will give you, and where you're beyond, where you're feeling tingling or pins and needles, any signs of strain or numbness or heat. That means get out immediately. Exhale from here, lower down. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes. Let's press up into a tabletop, and from tabletop, big release in child's pose. Sink the sit bones back toward the heels. Let the head come down to the ground, or stack your hands and let your head rest on stacked hands, or prop on your forearms, but let yourself release any and all constriction in the body from the tip of the tailbone all of the way down to the crown of the head, out through the tips of the fingers. One more breath. And with your next inhalation, let's find our way back to our neutral tabletop. And from neutral tabletop, getting some nice side bends. Bring your right hip and your right shoulder toward each other. Then come back across the center and switch sides. Left to left. So you'll feel the stretch on the opposite side of the body. As we draw the right sides together, we feel the stretch through the left. As we draw the left sides together, we feel stretch through the right. 2 more breaths. Last breath here. And then we'll pause in the middle. And from here, we're going to find our way to our seats. Exploring some things that are familiar from a new position, new perspective, and then doing a few new things. And then we'll get down on our backs and do some floor stuff. And then it's about time to find our way to our rest. So we're half an hour in. So you made it halfway through. All right. So to begin, we'll start with a seated cat and cow pose. So we have a few options that you can, obviously your legs can be any way that works. Crossed is great. The traditional practice here when we're working with seated cat and cow is more of a fighter log pose. So we kind of have the shins stacked, and it looks like you're riding a horse or something. If that doesn't work in your legs, you don't have to do that. I'll do 2 sets. So if you are stacking, we'll switch the leg on top halfway through. But again, don't force it. Let it be what it needs to be, because as we move, you're going to feel some sensation of opening through the hips and the outer thighs and all that stuff too. All right, sitting up nice and tall. Think of bringing that air from the top of your head down to the tip of the tailbone and back up. Let's exhale together. Inhale, draw that spot between the shoulder blades back. Let the tailbone roll back. And then as you exhale, round them forward. Tailbone tucks forward, heart center rolls forward. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round back. So you may or may not choose to move the head, the neck rather, and it doesn't really matter. But if you are, be mindful that you're not overdoing it. We don't want to force the chin to the chest or really drop the head back too far. And this is all about spinal movement. We're letting that movement work its way up and down the spine. We're getting synovial fluid moving through the spine. We're getting all of those muscles that surround the spine going. 3 more breaths here. Last one. And then we'll sit nice and tall. Take a break. If you have the legs stacked, switch the stacks. Let yourself soften your shoulders. Maybe the right ear floats toward the right shoulder. And maybe we sweep the chin across the chest. And maybe the left ear floats toward the left shoulder. And maybe the chin comes toward the sky. And I'm saying maybe because maybe not. 1 more breath here. And the next time you find your way at the center, if you're choosing this movement, then allow yourself to pause in stillness, and we'll sit nice and tall and start again. So again, movement can be as large or as small as you need it to be. Inhale, drawing back. Exhale, rounding forward. So where we get that sort of appearance of riding a pony is what this is sometimes called, or riding the camel, I think is actually how it was originally noted, is from the tilting and the tucking of the pelvis. But that doesn't have to happen. If that doesn't work in your body, you can move just from the waist up. You can hold in stillness. You can just kind of nod the head up and down. Let yourself have whatever range of motion your body needs right now. We'll take about 4 more. If you're working with the movement, just being aware, mindful of that movement. Maybe you can visualize every single vertebra moving like a little chain. The next time you come out of your cat, so that rounded back shape, we'll sit up nice and tall, nice neutral spine, extend the legs out in front. rocking the legs side to side from the hip space. So very controlled. We're not simply swaying them around. Allow yourself to rotate in and rotate out. Rotate in, rotate out. 3 more times. And that just makes sure that we're moving through the entire leg and opening through the hips and the outer thighs rather than just kind of flopping the ankles around. Last round of breath. We'll pause in stillness, and from here, one more movement that brings us into heart space. So this is more strengthening for the body. Again, do what works, discard what does not. It's called bear grips. So we're going to bring your right hand to face your body, and you can sit however you're comfortable. This is all about upper body. So let your legs be where they need to be. Prop up if you want to prop. Don't prop if you don't want to. You decide. So right hand is going to face you. We start with the hands right in front of the heart, and we're going to bring the left hand forward, and we're going to interlace the fingers, and then ever so slightly pull the elbows away from each other, and then we'll release. Then we're going to bring the hands up to throat or eye or forehead height, and then draw the elbows apart, and then soften. Bring the hands back down in front of the heart, pull elbows away, and then soften, and then lift. So we've got this isometric exercise where we're engaging through the chest and upper back and the shoulders. And you can actually, when you bring the arms up, if it works in your body, even bring them up above the head. But that's a lot of strain in the shoulder. So or a lot of engagement, I should say, in the shoulder. We don't want strain at all. So that's why I mentioned all of those other potential stopping points. If you feel like what's happening is a little too much where you're lifting to, stay closer to the heart. Inhale, draw the elbows away. Exhale, soften. Lift or not, elbows away, soften. One more time, hands in front of the heart, draw the elbows away from each other and soften, and then come up. And we draw the elbows away from each other and we soften. We're going to drop the hands. We're going to bring that right arm across the body, hug it in with the left. You can rest the hand on the opposite shoulder. You can leave the arm out, you decide. We'll let that right ear float toward the right shoulder or not. So we're stretching through the shoulder, the back of the shoulder, the upper back on the right side, through the left side of the neck, and into the top of the left shoulder. And with your next inhalation, let's sit up nice and tall. Release the arms. Sweep that hand back behind you. Let the hand rest behind the hip or right at the center of the back, or maybe the fingers walk across the back of the body, opening up across the front of the shoulder into the upper portion of the chest. One more breath here. And then from here, let those fingertips float down to the ground, maybe next to the hip, maybe they stay behind you, and give yourself a little twist. Let that left hand come across. Maybe your neck stays neutral. Maybe you look over one shoulder or the other. You decide. 2 more breaths. And as you breathe in, we'll find our way back to center. And we'll let the left arm come across and we'll hug it in with the right. And then again, you decide. It's okay to leave the arm out here. Just be really mindful of what's happening around this elbow. Sometimes having the arm straight can create some strain in the elbow. If that's the case, let that hand rest on the opposite shoulder. We're still drawing in and hugging. 3 more breaths. What are you experiencing here? This can bring us into kind of feelings of safety and security and stability. We're covering up, protecting that heart space. Release. Let that left hand float back behind the body without the twist to begin. So we're just opening across the left side of the front of the body. primarily the chest and the shoulder. If it works in your body, if you're feeling that you've got some tension through the neck, let the left ear float toward the left shoulder. So we're opening up across the neck and shoulder on the right side. But again, you don't have to do that. Only work with what benefits you. One more breath. And then we'll sit up nice and tall and let yourself find your way into a twist. So we'll let that left hand come down, bring the right arm across, holding in a twist. Two more breaths, again, or not. And then we'll unwind as we breathe in and find our way onto, let's find our way onto our backs. I was thinking of doing something else, but we're a little late on time for that. So you'll get another new pose with props next time around. Let's go ahead and find your way onto your back, soles of the feet at the ground, knees point toward the sky. Arms are alongside the body, or maybe you let the elbows come out toward opposite sides, fingertips toward the wall behind you, opening up across the chest, across the heart space. Bless you. Let yourself soften into the mat. With your next round of breath, we'll let the arms float down either alongside the body, or you can stack them at the stomach or at the heart, or one in each place. We're going to let the right knee drop out toward the right side of the room, so rolling toward the little toe side of the foot. And then we'll bring that foot up and in, and then kind of let the knee rock in toward the left leg. It might touch the inside edge of the left leg, it might not. And then come across and really nice and slow and easy, dropping the knee out to the side. So we're getting some rotation through the hip space. And then we'll let the knee float in. One more time on this right side. Out, up, and in toward the center line. And then we'll pause here. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Let that left knee float open. And then bring the knee up toward the sky and pivot the knee in toward the inside of the right leg. Up, rotating out. Lifting knee in, rotate toward the midline. Two more times. Rotate out, knee toward the sky, rotate in. Last one, out, and back in. And now allow yourself to release. See if you can bring the arms down alongside the body, and see if you can let the knees drop toward opposite sides of the room. In this reclining cobbler's pose. You might even come back into that heart opening space with the elbows out to the sides and the fingertips pointing toward the wall behind you. And notice what you're experiencing here. So in this pose, we're very open. There's a lot of vulnerability here. So think about all of the soft spaces in the body that we generally try to protect. The stomach, the low abdomen, even the heart is open. While there's bone there, we've still got something that's very important that we need to live very exposed. So noticing not simply the physical sensation, but how does it feel to be in this big, open, exposed position, especially in a room full of people? Even though logically the brain knows that nobody else can see, nobody else is looking at you because they're all doing the same thing, Does it create some tension resulting from emotion? Do you find yourself tensing up? When you're ready, not a single moment before, let one foot come to the ground, knee toward the sky, and then the other. Walk the feet away from each other, allowing the knees to dip in toward each other. Let the hands stack at the heart, coming inward. So going from being very open and very exposed to protecting everything, to pulling everything in. You might even decide that you'd rather have one hand at the stomach and one hand at the heart. And in this place, in this space right here, silently telling yourself, I am secure. I am a safe space. I am secure. I am a safe space. One more time here. I am secure. I am a safe space. Let the arms float down alongside the body. Let's wiggle those feet in toward each other, knees pointing toward the sky in a more natural fashion. And let's pull the knees in toward the chest. Another space of security, another space of protecting the vulnerable spots in the physical body. And when we protect the vulnerable spots in the physical body, we start to protect the vulnerable spots in the energy or emotional body. Let your head come down if you chose to elevate it. Let the feet come down to the ground. And then let's lift into a bridge pose. So wiggling the heels in toward the body. Maybe you just tip the tailbone toward the sky. Maybe the hips lift up. Maybe you roll up toward those shoulders. Again, a little bit more exposed, a little bit more vulnerable. We're not covering up those soft, squishy spaces in the middle. Let's slowly lower back down. We'll draw the knees in toward the chest, knowing that you can pull in, close in, protect, cover, create security and safety whenever you need to. Feet down toward the ground. You can also allow yourself to be open and vulnerable without fear, without worry. Exhale, lower, knees in toward the chest. You have the right to do whatever you need right now. With your next inhalation, feet come down, lifting up into that bridge pose. Lowering back down. Maybe you pull the knees in toward the chest again. Maybe you just start to allow yourself to release, extending the legs out in front of you, pointing and flexing the toes or rotating the ankles. So it's pointing and flexing the feet, really. Getting some rotation through the wrists if you would like. Getting any other movements that you may need. Maybe you wanted something like our Apanasana, one knee in, one leg extended. Maybe you wanted to lift and lower legs. Maybe there's an area of your body that feels like it needs a little more work. Foot toward the sky, drawing circles in the air. Maybe lifting the fingertips toward the sky. Curling in and expanding out. Just be mindful of the people around you. Maybe you really wanted the supine twist that we didn't do today. We did our twists from a seated position. We'll grab about 3 more breaths here. So if you're doing something on one side that needs to be repeated on the other, I would encourage you to switch sides at this point if you haven't already done so. And then when you are ready, gently unwind, finding your way into your place of rest. Whatever that looks like for you. Are you lying on your back? Do you have a blanket under your knees? Are you covered with a blanket? Do you have a blanket under your head? Do you need an extra one? Would you like one of each? Do you choose to rest on your side or come to rest on your stomach? In that crocodile pose, stacking the hands, letting the head rest on stacked hands. Where can you find stillness and ease? So the rest is about finding that place of stillness within, where we're not efforting at all, where we can settle into calm, into that inner peace. And we'll release the body a little bit differently today than we have in classes past. Think of bringing your air in through the top of the head, sending it to the tips of the big toes. Exhale out through the tip of the big toes, both feet. So we're going to do that and we're going to talk our way through it. So inhaling big toes and releasing, exhale big toes. Inhale second toe. Exhale second toe. Inhale third toe. Exhale third toe. Inhale fourth toe. Exhale fourth toe. Inhale last toe. Exhale last toe. Inhale feet. Exhale feet. Inhale ankles. Exhale ankles. Inhale lower leg. Exhale lower leg. Inhale knees. Exhale knees. Inhale upper leg. Exhale upper leg. Inhale glutes. Exhale glutes. Inhale hips. Exhale hips. Inhale pelvic center, both low abdomen and low back. Exhale pelvic center. Inhale sides of the waist. Exhale sides of the waist. Inhale navel center. Exhale navel center. Inhale sides of the ribs. Exhale sides of the ribs. Inhale heart center. Exhale heart center. Inhale thumbs. Exhale thumbs. Inhale first finger. Exhale first finger. Inhale second finger. Exhale second finger. Inhale third finger. Exhale third finger. Inhale last finger. Exhale last finger. Inhale hand. Exhale hands. Inhale wrists. Exhale wrists. Inhale lower arm. Exhale lower arm. Inhale elbows. Exhale elbows. Inhale upper arm. Exhale upper arm. Inhale shoulders. Exhale shoulders. Inhale throat. Exhale neck and throat. Inhale, jaw joints. Exhale, jaw joints. Inhale, ears. Exhale, ears. Inhale, mouth. Exhale, mouth. Inhale, cheeks. Exhale, cheeks. Inhale, nose. Exhale, nose. Inhale, eyes. Exhale, eyes. Inhale, eyebrows. Exhale, eyebrows. Inhale, temples. Exhale, temples. Inhale, spot between the eyebrows. Exhale, spot between the eyebrows. Inhale, forehead. Exhale, forehead. Inhale, top of the head. Exhale, softening top of the head and the entire body. Breathing in as if through the top of the head to that spot at the center of your chest, your energetic heart center. In this space, see that beautiful gem, that beautiful flower at the center of the chest. Allowing yourself to open those petals that surround it. Compassion opening, kindness opening, petals of forgiveness opening, of hope, opening generosity, opening courage, opening gratitude, opening trust, opening joy, all open to reveal the gem, the jewel of unconditional love that sits at your heart. Imagine light hitting this jewel, all of those facets sending little rays, little laser beams of this light out through your entire being, surrounding you with this light, surrounding you and filling you with your unconditional love and allowing you to even send it out beyond your space. Allow yourself to sit in the presence of this beauty. Notice how it feels to share this, to have this open. What color is your gem? Is it large or small? What shape has it taken on? Allow yourself to really explore this space within. As you allow yourself to drift a little further into this space of stillness, beginning to maybe tell yourself, I am love. Acknowledging that this is part of you. I am love. How much more does that make that jewel shine? I am love. And give yourself permission now to draw that radiance in, back into that gem at your heart. Allow those little petals to start to curl in, not closing them off, but allowing yourself to leave with your energy within, wrapping in trust, wrapping in joy, wrapping in courage, wrapping in hope, wrapping in gratitude, drawing in generosity, wrapping in forgiveness, petals of kindness closing in, the petals of compassion closing in, all protecting that beautiful love in your heart. And allow it all to be encased in that shell of safety and security. Start to notice the natural movement of the body with the breath. Start to notice the points where you're experiencing the support of the earth below. That security and stability and support of the planet on which we live. And let that natural movement of the body with the breath turn into very intentional movements. You might start to wiggle your fingers or your toes. You might start to rock your head from side to side. Decide what movements you need to come back from this inward reflection, this space of stillness, toward movement and awareness of connection to that which surrounds you. Knowing that there is no rush, knowing that there is no wrong way to come back. Whether you choose a lot of movement, a little bit of movement, or none at all, giving yourself a few more breaths in stillness, this is your practice. When you are ready, not a single moment before, begin to find your way back to your seat. Again, how do you get there? Use as much or as little energy as you need. And as you come up, you can sit in any direction or position, you can face any direction. You can have your eyes open or closed. And once you find the seat that works for you, bringing the hands to stack at heart center. Feel your heart energy. Your heart energy, allowing the palms to come together. Then we'll open up those beautiful lotuses once again. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today, for offering your time and your energy. May the long time sun shine upon you, all light, all love surround you, and that pure light within you guide your way on. We'll bring the fingertips down toward the ground. Let the arms sweep up overhead, palms finding each other. Glide the hands back down to the heart, hands in any position that makes sense to you. And we'll start to seal our practice with the sound of Yam, the Bija mantra for the heart chakra. You're welcome to join me if you'd like. Yeah. And closing with a gentle